everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having an amazing weekend. The sun has just come out as I started, which is going to make Michael's life very difficult. Sorry, Michael, blame in the clouds. Anyway, it is time to give you our usual Sunday roundup of everything that's going on in my garden with the chickens and the dogs and everything else. And I'm going to start with the fruit trees. The apples are just about ready, and I'm going to be picking some of these later this weekend because this week is all about, pretty much all about blackberries. We have got so many blackberries in the bushes. I'm going to show you in a second, but you know, you can't have just blackberry jam. You have to have apple and blackberry jam. And I think some of these apples here are just going to be ready to pick and have lovely blackberry appley goodness. Also, fun fact, the pectin that you can find in apples, it's naturally occurring, helps the blackberry and apple jam set properly, which makes it a little bit nicer to use. It makes sure that you don't have to use artificial pectin, and also I find it helps regulate the flavour of the blackberries so that they're not quite so intense. Check out our potatoes. These are still producing. It's been a while since I've shown you kind of the progress of the potatoes. So I finished all of the Purple Majesty is what they were called, potatoes. And now we're starting to work on these potatoes. I've been digging up some really huge potatoes and they're still new potatoes. I've had maybe one or two that have had like a little bit of sign of blight inside, but the rest have been just fine. And then back here, these are my late crop. They're still going just fine. I have dug up a couple of potato plants on this end, but here you can see potatoes they're doing just grand. Same with the potatoes, the volunteer potatoes that we put in, that put themselves in the tubs that we have our parsnips and our lettuce and everything else. And lettuce is pretty much done now, certainly for the crop that I put in. But everything else is now coming in to lovely, lovely, lovely flavours and fruit, and it's just really wonderful. I have to show you this though. This is a rose called Pope John Paul. It is beautiful. I wish you could smell it because it is delightful. At the beginning of the season, a lot of these roses were not properly opening, but now we've got some more heat. I actually clipped this back at the start of the year, and I'm glad I did because now it is producing. We've got some more lovely roses here. This is Rosie the Riveter, which again is a wonderful, wonderful rose. Got lots of thorns on it though, which is not so great. The sunflowers are starting to disappear and go off, which is, you know, par for the course. But let's talk about these blackberries. Look here. I know that some people have said I shouldn't leave blackberries in my hedgerow, but look at all of them right up there. I am going to be picking some this weekend and making blackberry jam. They look absolutely incredible and they taste amazing. Super sweet, loads of flavour, not tart at all. That particular bush has the sweetest blackberries that I've had in a really long time. But the good thing is, it's not just those blackberries. We had blackberries all around our garden. I'll show you some more in a second, but let's take a look at what's going on in the greenhouse because things are kind of exciting in here. It's kind of hot. Let me show you. Things are growing incredibly well in here, and we're starting to see some of the larger tomatoes are starting to turn red, and that means soon going to be making some tomato products, whether it's pasta sauce or some other form of tomato preserves, maybe some tomato chutney. I like chutney. I don't think my wife's a big fan, but we'll be doing that. And then over here, that shouldn't be there. That fell over. The cucumbers are actually doing really well. They're starting to actually grow. I can't believe it. It's taken forever. I know that I've been really worried about the cucumbers this season, but look, they're starting to grow, so I cannot complain. Somebody put these in here. I think that must have been Kate the other day when she came in here. My peppers, though, I have sad peppers. I do not know why my peppers are sad, but it is part of the challenges of growing things. Sometimes you hit it out the park and it looks amazing and it tastes amazing, and sometimes it's just a bit of a meh year. So, you know, it is what it is. Check out this tomato back here. This one is going to be huge. These ones are a local variety of heritage tomatoes. I think they're called Anna's Noir, and they are really lovely, big tomatoes. They have quite a big centre to them that obviously you don't really want to eat. But they've got a really lovely flavour and they're very versatile. So very excited about those. Check out my corn. It is starting to produce corn cobs. You can see them coming up there. Little ears of corn starting to poke up. I don't know how much corn we're going to have, and I don't know how big the ultimate cobs are going to be. We are watering them. We actually watered them today. So fingers crossed we'll have some decent growth from those before it's time to harvest them. The broccoli is doing great. I had some of that yesterday. So, and the same for the beans. I've kind of cleared out the beans and the broccoli. We have some small beans here. They're not ready to be harvested, but I took off some of the big beans, and boy, they tasted amazing. Great flavour, very sweet, required very little cooking, really amazing. My zucchinis or courgettes are doing great, although Ghost managed to knock me over this week, and I ended up sitting right here on this patch of plant, and I think the courgette zucchinis are doing just fine, and they seem to be coping just well. I'm just trying to find one so I can show you. I've got a couple here that are growing, but they're looking incredible. Also, my pumpkins, or rather my my squashes, again, doing really well. For some reason, the watering doesn't appear to have gone all the way through, so maybe I'll have to sort that out a bit later. But you can see we've got some fantastic growth here. This one here, I think it is a butternut squash. You can see it is growing incredibly well. And there's another one in there as well. Haven't seen any pumpkins yet, but we have lots of flowers, which is a good thing. So I guess we just have to wait and see how long it will take for these guys to start producing fruit. I don't think it's going to be very long, in all honesty. The raspberry bushes, they continue to produce fruit. I am blown away. If I just spin the camera around, you can see here the amount of raspberries that we are producing. Look, there's another one here. This is one for me. This is going to taste yummy. But not the spider that was on top of it. Don't worry, I'll let the spider jump off. But these are really lovely too. I'll probably throw some of these in with the blackberries, sorry, so that we can have maybe blackberry and raspberry. But look here, we've got some more blackberries back here. And because I know that there aren't any dogs coming around here and, you know, cocking their legs, I'm happy to take these. Obviously I'll wash them first, but got more blackberries coming around here, and round by our compost bins we've got more, and then all the way down to that far end. Everything is doing really well. The only thing, as you can see, is the grass is getting really scorched and dry. Chickens have come to say hello because they think I'm going to give them something, and I feel bad because I don't have anything to give them right now. Never mind. We'll figure that out in a second. But everything else is working pretty good, and you know, I think the garden is really coming on. I love this time of year. I think I've said this before. I love seeing all the different plants that are producing fruit. I cannot wait for September and October and the start of autumn. Honestly, I think there are very few seasons that I really don't enjoy. This time of year, it's fun to see the plants growing and the produce growing. The winter can sometimes be challenging, but we have plenty of projects, and now we have this lovely greenhouse. It makes the whole thing so much easier during the winter. We can just use the greenhouse to keep things warm. Hopefully we'll build the bottom half of those doors before the winter weather comes. But other than that, we just have to make sure that we hope, fingers crossed, we don't have any nasty storms come through. We're not affected by fires, which is a big concern of mine right now, given how hot it's been and how little rain there has been. Those are the two things that really scare me about living in this particular location. The other thing, these guys here, these are some form of nightshade that I need to dig up. They appeared about the same time that we put our greenhouse in. They have got to go. So if you've got any ideas on how to get rid of nightshade like this, I would love it. Obviously, nightshades are not inherently bad. Obviously, nightshades are generally poisonous. Potatoes are part of the nightshade family and tomatoes are part of the nightshade family. Obviously, the fruit is not poisonous, but in this case, we do want to make sure that we don't have extra nightshade that we did not order. So if you've got any tips about how to get rid of that, I would love to know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, if you have comments that you want to send our way, it's really easy. Just make sure that you leave your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll take it from there. So that is it for today's video. If you have comments, drop us a polite note below in the Discord chat room, on Mastodon, on YouTube or PeerTube, or in the Patreon supporter section there if you have a Patreon account. If you want more, subscribe, hit the bell and follow the links below to regularly support us with a YouTube membership or a Patreon subscription. You'll also find links to our Ko-fi, Bitcoin and Swag store, as well as that aforementioned Mastodon server. And I'll also throw in a link to PeerTube. Scrolling on my right is the list of amazing charged up supporters, and shout outs go out to our V2G Patreon supporters. They are Alan Tupper, Andrew Martin, Bennett Elder, Brophy Wolf, Chris Maxwell, Cyprian Laplace, Dan Blair, Gordon C, Hey Esker, John Tramal, Carl Fox, Mark Eggleton, Peter Dillinger, Regine Fellows, Sean Tucker, Stefan Fremgen, Stephen Williams, Taslet in the Gong, Paul Bricknell, Tony Moss, Carl Hodgson, Chris Centaur, Denny Hyde, Lance Schall, Linda Irish, Mike Weeder and Paul Nelson. And finally, big thanks to our off-grid supporters, Paul Conway, Kevin Burrowbridge, Stephen O'Donoghue, Jim Burness, Robert Flannery, Aaron Hahn, Ellery Hensley, Rory Litwin, JP Fagerback, Dave Kitchen, Andrew Glenn, Anonymous Freak, Chris and Michael Johnson, CPU Freak 101, Eric Knack, Joe Bresney, John Henderson, Laura Reynolds, Marcel Ward, Matthew Drobnak, Nigel S, Reggie Watts, Will Graylin, and of course, Ian. Don't forget that we produce content every Sunday here on Transport Evolved Take 2, and then on our main channel every Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Saturday. You'll find our regular videos. And like I say, keep your eyes peeled for the Sunday Musing later today. I think it's a good one. And then on Sunday, if you are a Patreon supporter, so that's later today, you'll see a video about our Bolt EV and our very expensive repair bill. And if you're not, you'll see it on Monday. It will be on the main channel. Thanks for joining me. Stay safe in this heat wave. If it is affecting you, not infecting you, that would be really bad. And I will see you next week on this channel. And in the meantime, I'll see you on the main channel during the week. Whatever you enjoy next, I hope you have a good one. Keep evolving.